My husband's therapist called to schedule a consultation. He doesn't have a therapist. I got the call while I was making dinner. A woman asked for me by name, said she was a therapist, said my husband had been her patient for the past year, said she wanted to bring me in for a joint session. I almost dropped the phone. My husband doesn't believe in therapy. He told me that on our first date. Told me again when I suggested couples counseling last year, but according to this woman, he'd been seeing her every week for 12 months. I didn't correct her. Didn't tell her she had the wrong person. I just listened. She talked about his anxiety and his work stress and how he was making real breakthroughs. I said that was wonderful. Asked when we could meet. She gave me an address. I wrote it down. After I hung up, I sat at the kitchen table for a long time. Then I looked up the address. It wasn't a therapist's office. It was an apartment building. I didn't confront him. Not yet. I needed to know what I was dealing with first. I drove to the address the next afternoon, parked across the street. It was a nice building. Expensive. I waited. An hour later, my husband's car pulled into the parking garage. He was supposed to be at work. I watched him walk inside like he'd done it 1,000 times. He was there for 3 hours. I sat in my car the whole time. When he finally came out, he looked happy, lighter, the way he used to look at me. I drove home before him. He came in talking about how stressful his day was. I nodded along. That weekend, I went through his phone while he slept. Found a second number saved under work. Found deleted photos he thought were gone. Found messages that made my stomach turn. This wasn't therapy. This was a relationship. A whole second life I knew nothing about. Monday morning, I called the woman back. Told her I wanted to schedule that consultation. She said, "Perfect. I think it's time we finally met." I said, "So do I." I knocked on her door that Wednesday. She answered in a silk robe, smiling, like she'd been waiting for this moment. Finally, the famous wife. I didn't give her the satisfaction of a reaction, just walked inside, his coffee mug on the counter, his watch on the nightstand. She'd made herself comfortable in my husband's other life. "I wanted you to see this," she said. "See what he really wants. Where he really wants to be." I looked around slowly, then I looked at her. "You called me pretending to be a therapist. I wanted to meet the woman he's leaving." "He's not leaving me," she laughed. "Sweetie, he's here every week. He pays my rent. He told me he loves me." I pulled out my phone, showed her the screenshots. His text to his coworker, his messages on dating apps, his conversation with his brother where he called her desperate and easy. I watched the color drain from her face. "He's not leaving me for you," I said. "He's not leaving me for anyone, because I'm leaving him. And now you know exactly what kind of man you've been fighting for." The divorce was finalized last month. He lost the house, half his retirement, and both the women he was juggling. She wanted nothing to do with him after she saw those messages. Can't say I blame her. He called me last week asking if we could talk. I said I already had my consultation, then I hung up.